Welcome
Welcome
to Shade in the
Shade
City.
in the City.
I'm your girl, Treese.
It's Nels.
And today we are getting into our review of Love and Marriage Huntsville. This is episode 3. I do believe so. Episode 3. Yeah, it's not that
I feel
far.
like I feel like we in it.
Because we had a whole we had 15 episodes.
Because this really should have been half. It should have been
right.
Okay.
Yeah. So yes, thank you guys for joining us. Welcome back, Shade Squad. And if you haven't already, please make sure that you hit the like button
and the subscribe button.
And y'all, let's get into it. This was actually a peaceful episode. Everybody seemed to be, Destiny's messy as hell. She has nothing better to do. So yeah, let's get into it. Let's get shady. So we kick off the start of this episode, and we are still in this session with Dr. Francis, Kimmi, and Maurice. Now, he tries to explain to Maurice that the more that he does with Kimmi, the more that she or the more he embraces her as a person and not just view her as a sexual partner, things will get better for him. Of course, Maurice questions this and interprets this as, so if I embrace her more as a person, she'll give me more sex. And Dr. Francis is like, no, that's not what I said. So Dr. Francis is like, again, I have to reiterate to you, it's about giving of oneself and learning to love her as a person and not just a vehicle for sex. So he's, we could tell Maurice is still a little off. He don't really understand that concept. He actually says in the confessional that he understands that sex is more about happy endings and climaxes and, being ready to go to sleep afterwards. And it's about the fact that you can do it again. And I said, again, we know he clearly didn't get the point.
If I was Kimmi, I would have been just like Kimmi. I would have been so aggravated, like, just stop talking.
But he jokes and he says that he does know it's about the bonding of it all and the connection. So we can only hope he got it.
I know at one part he asked if they can compartmentalize it.
Oh, yes, he does say that. He wants to compartmentalize. And he's like, well, I just feel like, sometimes
we do it for bonding sometimes. Bonding and sometimes exercise.
And as we all know, Kimmi, poor baby.
She did not think it was funny at all. She just like, can you just please shut up?
I just feel for her if it really do dry
and
up.
What he don't understand is, yes, sometimes you can. Sometimes it can be for bonding and sometimes it can be for exercise. But y'all both have to
want to exercise.
Yeah, exactly. But the fact that she's exercising all around the house, cleaning up and cooking and cleaning behind all you boys, she's not going to want to exercise that way.
And Kimmi tries to explain that to him. Like, yes, you treating me more like a person, doing more with me will eventually result in what you want. But you have to show me that. It can't just be, because even I think Dr. Francis does ask her if she believes the bullshit that Maurice is trying to sell her, and if she really believes things are going to change when she gets home. And she's like, no, we've been through counseling before. We've done this. And he'll do it for a little while. And then
she's not really sure how sincere he is. You know what I did like, though? That Dr. Francis said to do it together, and he didn't use the word help her do it. He didn't say help her clean or help her around the house or whatever. He said do it together.
Go ahead, Nels.
I like the way he worded it, because I was actually waiting for him to say help her. But the fact that he didn't is like letting him know, like, this is not just her responsibility. This is something you guys can do.
You live here too.
Exactly. So yeah, I don't know. I think he always
got somebody that thinks the floor is a trash can, so I get it. So Tisha, is at breakfast with Marceau and Kimmi. She's reading a text message she received from Tiffany, asking her to thank Dr. Francis for them, and that they're putting their lessons they learned into action as they hit the road. And won't come back no more, no more, no more, no more. Ain't doing it. Okay. Tisha jokes maybe they were tired of them. We learned Tiffany left for a speaking engagement that she had in Birmingham. And she had to be there by 12. Now, Tisha is happy that she got to see another side of the Whitlows, even if they did leave early. Marceau, I don't know what it is about Marceau this season. I don't know. I don't know if production is doing this on purpose and showing us in a different light. He's still an asshole, but it's just more, it's funny. It's not as problematic as it was last season. I don't know. I can't explain it. But right now you're winning with us, Marceau, at least me.
Well, I think maybe only one thing came out so far, right? The whole Atlanta trip.
Look,
I feel like in prior seasons
if Tisha got it, if Tisha gonna sit beside him, who am I?
I think before it was consistently, like either Mel or her mom or somebody was down their throat about what he was doing outside of their marriage.
Right.
We had one incident, and they were addressing that or whatever. So people got in his ass about that, but it's not consistent this season where people are constantly down his throat about what's going on outside their marriage. So we get to see him bonding.
Marceau jokes that he also enjoyed seeing another side of the Whitlows, and that side was fake too. So Tisha tells Marceau he's being rough, and he says he's being transparent in this moment. Okay. Now Tisha asks Maurice after he arrives how their one-on-one with Dr. Francis went last night. Maurice admits that he had some apologizing to do, but he also says in the confessional he believes the retreat was a roller coaster, and that every couple had their moments as far as understanding and being able to take something home. So, and he admits that he would do it again. He felt like it was a good takeaway.
I thought that was dope.
Yeah, I was like, okay, come through, Maurice, or are you acting? I don't know anymore.
I feel like did Marceau even say like he enjoyed it and would do it again, or am I tripping?
I think
am I reaching? I
think he what Marceau gives me,
maybe he gave me the impression that he would do it again.
How to handle and deal with Dr. Francis in a way that it no longer upsets or bothers him or gets under his skin. That's all that is.
No.
That's what I feel.
Dr. Francis just wasn't in their ass. Dr. Francis had somebody else to pick on. That's all that was.
Well, that's true. But but even in their one-on-one, I don't think he went as hard at them that maybe, you know what I mean, he could have. So, I don't know.
He told this man he splits hairs. And listen, they be going at each other.
True.
Dr. Francis and Marlo come in.
Yeah.
And immediately they notice that Lewis and Tiffany are gone. Tisha let them know that they couldn't take it anymore.
They fled.
They fled the scene.
They fled the scene.
Kimmi did let them know that they had a prior speaking engagement in Birmingham. Dr. Francis says conflict of interest.
Didn't we talk about
it? It happens a lot in marriages. And the Whitlow's marriage is whose he's concerned about the most.
Mm-hmm.
I said, look, listen, do not let this man think this shit is not a priority, okay? But he says he's not surprised that they jumped ship on the last day, but he is mildly disappointed. Maurice lets them know that they're really thankful for this weekend and them being open and receptive. He says he really feels like he gained some takeaways that he can use back home. Marceau jokes and thanks him for bringing Miss Francis.
Lady Francis.
Lady Francis.
Lady Francis.
And Dr. Francis said, look, leave my wife out of it, sir.
Okay.
All right. And this is what he says. He says, the human hair is about 10,000 of an inch thick, and Marceau could split it 10 times. And they joke about how he already has because he bald-headed.
Well,
Dr. Francis says he feels each couple needs to work on trust when they leave the retreat.
He did make that point.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, he said he didn't feel like they were being 100% truthful Because they were,
around each other.
strangers.
Around each other, and there's things that they don't want to share in front of other couples.
Right.
Everyone is saying their goodbyes, and Marlo pulls Tisha to the side and let her know that she reminds her of herself in her younger days. She says she was quiet and put her family first. And she says, I'm making sure that she takes, and she also says she took care of others, and she tells her that she needs to take care of herself.
She takes care of herself. Yep.
Kimmi, she meets up with Destiny and Tisha at a shop before they go out to lunch. Tisha lets Destiny know that they just came back from a couple's trip, and Destiny is feeling some type of way that she didn't get invited. She's like, well, you got to be a couple to go on a couple's trip.
Okay.
And Destiny's like, well, I could have at least got an invite. She's like, I could have got an invite. And she says that, she is something. And she was like, okay, well, it wasn't solidified to us as a relationship. So.
And she said she's not interested. They were giving her ideas like, why don't you bring them to the cookout? And she said she's not ready to do that yet. So I love when Kimmi told her, so how the hell you gonna go on a couple's trip, but you're not ready to bring him nowhere? Girl, bye. Get out my face.
Period.
Stop playing in my face.
Then I know Kimmi said something about I know where we can get some barbecue.
Oh, it makes a joke, yeah, because we all know.
And look, Destiny definitely caught the shade.
Oh yeah, she definitely caught the shade.
She caught the shade. She was like, look, we got history. He ain't gonna want to give me no barbecue.
What happened?
She said we got history. He ain't gonna want to give me no barbecue.
Oh.
So Kimmi lets her know that the trip was cool. They did get to know the Whitlows a little bit better, and she says it took a little while for them to be transparent. Tisha says that it turned out really good. They did apologize to her and Marcel because finally they understood the wrong that they did after Dr. Francis got up in that ass. And then they talk about the rope game. And, Tisha feeling like, she was like, that's what 15 years of marriage will do for that ass. Okay. She said, they took off running and talk about how the other couples really ain't do too good. Okay. Because, they ain't as experienced. They don't communicate. Okay. They ain't like that.
It's like not horn or nothing, but BB.
What'd you say?
I said she was like not trying to toot our horn or nothing, but BB.
Mm-hmm. Kimmi says next they need to do a couples trip. And as Daphne
and said a couples trip, not a retreat, a trip.
Yes. Yeah, she clarified that. And tells Daphne, why do I keep on saying Destiny? That she need to bring her boo. So we can see him and she can have a storyline and she could be on his show longer. And of course, she's still tight-lipped. She ain't really saying nothing. She ain't really trying to say nothing. So they see a nice selection of wine and they wonder if Martell's wine is in there. And this makes them start discussing,
but not Martell.
Huh?
I said maybe Sutter home, but not Martell's.
Or the worst. So this, gets them to discussing Melnika because, she got him his wine up and running or whatever. And Kimmi says apparently Martell called her the first Mel because he knew her first. And she says she went out to lunch with Melody and she agreed and said, she helped with their wedding, but she quit the wedding and stopped doing it because Martell was messing around back then and Melnika told Mel. And apparently Mel believes that Mel and Martell had something going on over the past few years.
Mm-hmm.
Kimmi feels that she accidentally.
I love when Kimmi was like, but she's married. Mel said, what does that mean?
So it was Martell and he cheated.
That part.
I mean, does it?
Yeah. That part.
Well, they started discussing about Melnika, how she was, out in Atlanta with the guys and, I don't know. It was getting real heated, real messy. In the confessional, Destiny says she's never witnessed that being their dynamic. And she's known her for a very long time. And she doesn't put a lot of faith into the rumors that, comes out of Mel's mouth, basically. And, she don't believe it. But she don't put nothing past nobody.
That's funny that she don't believe it, because you know, I feel like if her and Mels were friends, she would be eating that shit up. But okay. Now all
Well, she feel like if it did happen, it was in the past and leave it in the past. Destiny lets the ladies know that she's known Melnika since high school, and they talk. You know, she's even invited to her reopening of Madani, as they are. So bitches better be there. Kimmi asks if,
because apparently she can now afford to keep it open for more than 2-3 days a week. And she doesn't have to work the store herself.
You are shady.
We all know this is truth and this happened.
He's a shady.
It's been reported. I am not.
Shady little somebody.
I'm just saying.
She's sauce. You just call her a broke bitch.
I'm just saying. We all know the reports came out. People said they wasn't getting paid.
Maybe she made money off her song.
The paychecks wasn't clearing. They wasn't, you know.
You heard what I said?
The paychecks wasn't checking.
You heard what I said? Maybe she made some money off her song.
You hear how I just jumped over that?
So, Kimmi, so you know, since we're getting back to a place where we're inviting everybody, are you inviting Stormy and Mel? Destiny jokes and says, maybe we should have security. And Tisha's like, facts.
But she says everybody that needs to be there will be there.
Which I'd have been like, I'm surprised Kimmi wasn't like that. You didn't answer my question.
No, I think she did say that. And she says everybody that needs to be there will be there.
So do they need to be there? That don't answer my question. So all the guys met up to play some pool and catch up. Marcel
says that Lewis
had enough
after a beating after dealing with Dr. Francis.
It felt like it was instant karma.
But Lewis got that medicine. And Lewis jokes that, you know, him and Marcel had a bonding moment. And Maurice jokes that it was trauma bonding.
Yeah.
Marcel experience. Now Martell joins them at the pool hall. He's excited to see the guys because he doesn't even get invited to shit anymore.
I would have much rather hung out with the dudes than the females. They just funnier.
Oh yeah, absolutely. He asked how the retreat went, and they let him know Dr. Francis went in on Lewis and did the same thing to Lewis that he did to Marcel. I said, well, damn, y'all don't hold no punches. Martell asked, how did Tiffany like Dr. Francis? Lewis says that he said Tiff was in there for 5 minutes, and basically Dr. Francis started going in on her ass.
He was already down her throat.
Maurice jokes about how Marcel was enjoying every minute of Dr. Francis going at Lewis and Tiffany. And Marcel admits he absolutely did. Absolutely did. Lewis offers to buy a round of shots, and Martell turns them down. You know, Maurice asks why he goes, why? We ain't doing no speeches tonight. I said,
I didn't even catch that.
I said the shade. Oh, it was even Maurice was like, damn.
Wait, who said that?
No, I'm sorry. Maurice said that, and Marceau reacted and was like, damn, Maurice, that was rough. Like, you didn't have to, because they said this to Martell because we all know he got drunk and gave a sloppy speech. Lewis says that coming out of the couples retreat, he had a hard time understanding Dr. Francis's preconceived notions about his marriage. He says that he doesn't know if he'll really listen to anything Dr. Francis has to say moving forward, but is happy that they were able to get closer with the Scotts. Martell asked what they took away from their session with Dr. Francis. And Marceau says that for him, he feels like him and Atisha are really going through adversity right now. Mm-hmm. You know, he feels like they've been through like small challenges and bumps in the road here and there. However, they've never faced this type of external adversity when it comes to people judging their marriage. He says the rope challenge helped him out a lot. And he realizes that, you know, whatever they got is working for them. So I was like, okay, cool. That's how you feeling. Lewis says it helped him and Tiffany because they felt somebody from the outside was attacking their marriage. So I guess they were somehow able to bond together. They feel the issues Dr. Francis addressed aren't issues for them. Okay. He knows he's protective of his family and his marriage. However, he wanted Dr. Francis to look at it the right way versus viewing them so negatively. He wants to believe that Dr. Francis was coming from another perspective, or he was coming from another perspective, but still respects his obviously opinion, but just feels like he don't know him.
He said that he basically took all the negative and took all the positive and left the negative. And Marceau called it eating the meat and throwing away the bones. Maurice talks about the rope challenge and how it was enlightening for him, and basically it showed him that he may have a plan, but the plan doesn't work unless Kimmi has the same exact plan.
Right.
He says that, he pulled her closer and it was destructive for them. And he kept on looking at what Tisha and Marceau was doing. And he realized that, he needed to focus on himself and not everyone else, focus on their relationship.
Right.
Marceau says that he's happy he got that from the rope challenge because he still wants them to win and, be great. Just not better than them.
Because that's not possible. That'll never happen, as Marceau says.
It is what it is. They asked Martell if he missed being in couples therapy, and he says he actually does, and he is ready to get married again.
Yes, he is.
Martell was like, whoa, homie, hold your horses. You don't think you're moving too fast. And he says he ain't ready to get married next week, but it is a goal of his. And they cheers to success and successful marriages, which I guess, Martell is looking at the future. And in the confessional, Martell says when he hears the guys reflecting on things that they have in their marriage, it makes him reflect on the things that he had in his marriage. And he does miss that. He says that he's got to find that perfect somebody because being married is a beautiful thing. And he feels he'll cherish it a lot more this time around. Said you don't know what you've got till it's gone.
Yeah, Paul Martell. Well, no, not really. We see Mel pull up to Martell's because
in the what? What she pulled up in? Did you see it?
G-Wagon.
She pulled up in a G-Wagon. I said, she had to get her G-Wagon. I know that's right.
So we see Mel pull up in her G-Wagon to Martell's because she wants to talk about all the stuff going on social media regarding their children. Now, Martell tells her to have a seat, and I thought it was funny because she's like, well, I just wasn't walking in your house because I ain't never been here before. And she clearly needed to let us know that.
Right. I was like, she just wanted to let us know. She ain't never been here before.
Her daughter jokes, and she was like, I thought you lived here before. She was like, say what? Who said that? Who said that? She said, girl, I ain't never lived here. I said, wow. Now she excuses the kids and brings up how Miss Wanda has been out here in these internet streets, social media streets, questioning the paternity of their kids, most importantly, Sugar Mama. And she brings up how they've had issues in the past with this and how Martell has had to jump in Miss Wanda's face and get in her ass. So then they bring up Mel's appearance on the nightcap and her mentioning Tisha's daddy being in her DMs. Now, I do remember that episode. I watched it. It was actually very funny. But apparently this pissed Miss Wanda off, as we expected it would.
But then hit up your baby daddy. He don't want my DMs.
Well,
what coming at me for?
I don't think she's with Tisha's daddy anymore. But anyway, so Martell says he thought the last conversation that he had with Wanda was enough. So he's not here for it. He actually questions how old Miss Wanda is. And then he asks if Mel has spoken with Miss Wanda. And she's like, no, and Martell says, well, he's going to call and get her number and give it to her so she can address it because he doesn't want to do it because we all know Martell has issues with his anger. They agree that they're not divided when it comes, to their children. And Mel says co-parenting isn't easy, but she likes that her and Martell can come together for the kids. So he likes where they are and hopes that they can, continue, obviously, for the kids to have this type of, be able to have conversations, be around each other.
This is helpful.
And clearly Mel is feeling so comfortable because she lets him know that, she's taking the kids on vacation to Destin, Florida, and invited him to come down for a couple days and join them, which I do think we also saw in these social media streets. Mm-hmm. And Martell is happy for the invite and hopeful that they basically can keep trending in the right direction.
Apparently, this is the place that they always used to go as a family.
As a family, right.
So he's glad that he got the invite.
So, yeah. We see Destiny. She is all over the place. She says with COVID, her divorce, and being a single mom,
The last 2 years have been hell for her, basically.
Right. So Madani has kind of fell to the side, as we know. She's had a couple situations, paychecks wasn't checking. And she couldn't keep employees. She didn't have enough employees to keep the store open. I'm just telling y'all what it was. I ain't saying nothing untruthful, ain't shit that ain't been in these streets. So don't give me that now.
She ain't saying nothing about the checks wasn't checking.
Y'all can go Google that story. Notice I didn't say alleged in front of it. Anyway, and so we see her on the phone with her boo, talking about the store opening. Apparently he can't make it because he, I guess, is going to be out of town for a funeral. But apparently her and this guy, Moses, have known each other, I believe she said 13 years, and they reconnected. Apparently he recently also went through a divorce.
Girl, he was singing in the background. Right. I know her ex is mad. That's what you don't want. That's what you don't want. You and your husband or wife to break up, and then there's a connection or reconnection from somebody that's been around the whole entire time.
Well.
So apparently they both went through divorce. We know about Destiny's, not much about his. And
we don't know
long distance relationship. Huh?
We still don't know much about Destiny's either, but okay.
We know she divorced.
Yeah, we know that much.
And we know he mad as hell.
Who?
The ex-husband.
No, he's not.
She said he is.
Maybe he is. I don't know. LeBaric seems unbothered selling his chicken, but go ahead.
He probably mad for whatever reason they broke up.
I heard it was because of his mama, but that's just my.
Because of his mama what? Girl, tell us what
his mama was interfering. She was on the nightcap. She talked about it. She said
Who talked about it? Destiny talked about it?
Yeah, Destiny.
No, fuck that. I want to hear from LeBaric.
Oh, I would like to hear, but LeBaric don't talk.
But I want to hear why he said
it was a lot of stuff. It was COVID, being trapped together in the same house, all that other stuff, spending too much time together. But she said it was also a thing of his mother.
So did she say his mama pushed her to slip on another dick? I'm asking.
She said that the mother interfered with the relationship. Now, I don't think that she ever spoke on infidelities, but I do think that it was mentioned or brought up. I feel like I saw one interview. Now, this would be alleged. I do feel like she did say something about there were infidelities, but she never specified who, meaning she never said whether it was her or him.
I want to know. I want to hear from LeBaric. LeBaric needs to get back on the show. LeBaric, come get this check. Okay, we need to hear from you.
Love and Marriage Huntsville. He didn't want to be on there in the first place. Think about it. If he wanted to be on the show, he could be on the show. They could definitely be pulling a Mel and Martell if they wanted to, LeBaric and Destiny, and be messy. They're not doing that for a reason.
Well, I know Moses better watch out, okay? Because if Destiny was the one that was cheating, he all the way in St. Louis.
Yeah.
You better be careful.
Another long distance relationship.
Long distance. So apparently, they catch flights to see each other. She plans to catch a flight to see him. They say they I love yous, and that's it. I don't know how long they've been talking, but they already on the I love yous. It sounded like it was real.
People work better in long distance because then you could act like you're in a relationship when it's convenient for you, and then when you don't want to be in a relationship, you can, you can conveniently.
It's giving. He was in the background for a long time. That's what it's giving me. I'm just
singing in the background. All right, so we see our boy. I say our boy like we like him, but we see Martell.
Some of us favor him more than others.
Who are we talking about?
You.
So Martell meets the owners. I feel sorry for him at times. I never favor him. So Martell meets with the owners of the wine rack to try and get his
Cynthia
wine.
And Emmanuel.
Oh, good job. Good job. So yeah, he meets with the owners of the wine rack to try and get the wine in the stores. He admits he's nervous, and says that he invited Destiny for support, but of course Destiny is late, which I think that we've seen many times before. So Cynthia, that was her name, right? Cynthia?
Yes.
Okay. Cynthia says that she loves it. She said it has legs, which is a good thing. Martell, this is how you know he shouldn't be even in the wine business. He didn't even know what the hell she was talking about when she was complimenting him on the shit.
He should have, because who said it when they were
But that's what I'm saying. Why are other people telling you about your brand and your wine that you're trying to sell to me? Make it make sense.
Because he just want to make some money, girl. He just want to make some money.
Anyway, just throw your label on that Sutter Home bottle, baby. So anyway, so Destiny does show up. And lets Martell know that he needs to be in attendance for her Madani store relaunch. He compliments her on her new song. And then you know what? I'm gonna stop doing that. Some people actually really do like the song, and it is what it is. Everything for everybody. So kudos to Destiny.
I thought, you know what I thought was funny? I thought it was funny that she came in and, Cynthia's talking about how much she loves Wanda. She was like, oh, well, you know what? Let me go on and get my little sales pitch on. Like, basically, the shit is already sold. It's already about to be in the store. And Destiny's like, well, come in. Let me come in and help you make this money. And she was like, and I'm going to need 20% off of that.
Right.
He's like, lady, you was not here for none of this. You came at the very end.
And we know Martell need all his coin. So, yes, she lets him know he needs to be in attendance for the relaunch, and ask if she's invited her new boo. She does let him know that he won't be there, but she'll introduce him when he's ready. She says that they've been dating long enough, and when he found out she was divorced, he said he could not let her get away again. I said, okay. Now Martell wishes her the best and asks if she invited Mel. Destiny says that she invited people that want to be there.
I know, she was like, why everybody keep on asking about Mel?
Right. Now we learned that I guess her and Mel have not spoken since after the Valentine's Day event. And Martell basically tries to explain to her that Mel probably thought a lot of people that were around her were her friends. But now it seems like she's kicked them all under a bridge. And unfortunately, they can't be friends to you and friends to her, is what we're realizing, Martell. So she can hardly be friends to you. Nobody
wins when the family feuds.
Right. I was gonna say, we see this little cute moment now, but we all know it's not gonna last because Martell's an ass. So yeah, so anyway, he basically tells her that he thinks that, she should extend an invitation to Mel. And Destiny's like, I just don't feel like my event is the place where we need to try to hash things out. And I completely agree with her. She does say that she invited Melnika. But yeah, Melanie, no. She brings up the conversation with Kimmi about how Mel isn't out here insinuating that basically him and Melnika got something going on currently.
I feel like it's more than an insinuation.
Well, he's basically said Melnika is a happily married woman, and that he has no interest in her at all. He he says he's not giving it any energy and says that he's not taking the bait. And I was actually proud of Martell in this moment.
He was like, I ain't about to let this get my blood pressure up, child. Look,
he says that, but we also know that he's gonna go run back and tell Melnika. So, I mean, granted, he probably should because the rumor is about her. But even still, I just feel like he's gonna be messy and continue it.
I think he should. He should go back and tell Melnika. He should go back and talk to Mel about it. But he probably ain't gonna talk to Mel because he want to go on that Destin trip.
Right.
It's just gonna come out later.
And yeah, there we have it, y'all. Martell didn't take the bait, and Destiny looks disappointed.
Well, she said she was proud. She said she was proud of him, but she did look disappointed.
Thank you guys for tuning in to another review of Love and Marriage Huntsville. So please make sure, if you have not already, that you hit that like button.
You comment.
You subscribe.
And hit the notification bell.
And y'all, yeah, please make sure that you are following us on all of the platforms that are the TikTok, the Twitter, the Facebook, the IG. We appreciate it. We see us growing. I love it. Every day the numbers are going up and I appreciate it. So please help us continue to grow. We love it. It costs you nothing. A like, a subscribe, a follow. We appreciate it, guys. But anyway, you have a good night and we'll see you later.